Well, everybody, it is truly a scorcher today, so no Jesus juice for me, only water, fresh H2O. Are we crooked?
It's scientifically proven.
That I will sweat, that is true. I will sweat. This is Rainy Dog. Everyone say hi. He is a good boy, the best boy. Best boy, do you got it?
Copy that.
Good, we can move on. As a good little punky consumer that I am not opposed to talking about controversial topics, for the punk scene has always brought up the most damning of American issues while making commentary and trying to push forward the very conversation that we're having. So I think it's very appropriate and very well within my wheelhouse to discuss why exactly there is just so many hubabbaloo over this one guy, Oliver Anthony. A man with two names. I mean, a lot of men have two names, I guess. I know there's been a lot of controversial music lately, but I think a good avenue to talk about it is through this Oliver Anthony song. It's been kind of everywhere. People have been going crazy. There's opinions on it, thoughts and concerns about who this guy is. Where did he come from? You know, all the best people reacting to it. I think it's funny how music, TV, movies, video games, how they're all relatively ignored in the cultural conversation until there is something to talk about. Barbie, Oppenheimer, Sound of video game stuff. And before we dive into his music, I think this is a good opportunity to pump my own. I did just put up a new album. Well, it's not really a new album. These are songs that I had recorded before, but I just never released them. Maybe I made music videos for them. Maybe I put them up on my channel. Classic, good as new songs here, like Shaving a Pass, Perilous, Satisfaction Quarantine, my Trailer Trash cover, the Trash song, probably the best song I've ever written. It's all on this album. You can download it for free. True working class, working hero shit. I keep it true. 100% punk, and I keep wanting to tip it to drink, but it's not. There's a straw. Can't see the straw in there. You think you'd be able to see the straw because you can see through it right now. Seems like he wasn't getting very much attention, and then he made a song, and now everyone wants to hear about it. Let's hear what the guy has to say himself. The red beard himself, the man with two names. Let's hear what he has to say.
I'm driving back home. I had crazy time in Currituck. I always have fun in Currituck.
Always Currituck. You know what they say, Currituck, you know how to fuck. That's what they say. I don't say it. Everyone knows. If you're from Currituck, you know how to fuck.
I mean, hell, we signed and took pictures a good 4 hours after the show. And it wasn't like people just came up and shook my hand. They come up and they told me about...
They came up to me and they said...
Thanks for the concern, but I got laid 3 weeks ago.
And I said, incredible. I'm so happy for you. People came up to me with tears in their eyes and they said, you changed my life. And then I knew I had made something special. It's more than music. It's more of a movement, don't you think?
And the emotions of the song, it already exists within you. Sometimes it just takes the right song coming along to let those out. But my question to you is, when Oliver Anthony's long gone and forgotten about,
is he admitting that his musical performance is a separate persona? Or does he always talk about himself in the third person? Is it just his musical projects that are detached from him? Or is he and Oliver Anthony two separate entities taking up the same body? Not sure where he's going with it. Just weird that he used a third person there. Not judging him though. I'm listening to what he's saying and I'm trying to understand it.
To maintain this energy, this positivity, this unity that I see among people like I've never seen before. There used to be such a strong sense of community in this country. And you still see it a lot in small town America.
That's real America, I've heard. It's where the real people live.
But humans have the ability to possess such overwhelming compassion.
I agree, but right now my compassion is telling me maybe you should have pulled over to film this video. That maybe constantly looking down at your phone screen while talking and driving is not the best message to give out to your fans if you are going to be a positive role model, positive force in the music industry. I don't know. I don't think it looks good, but that's what you got to do. You got to be in your truck. If you're not in your truck and you're not talking about America, then are you even on the internet? I don't think I personally exist because I am trapped inside this internet virtual hellhole that I have created for myself. He is so slow at talking, and I really want to hear everything he says.
We've really let ourselves focus too much on hate. I mean, humans can manifest wicked amounts of hate. We've seen it all throughout world history, even in the last 150, 200 years. I mean, just some of the atrocities, the genocides, the war. You know, there were wars fought over spices. Like, people died over spices. And now we can sit on the couch and we can order whatever spice we want from the comfort of our phone.
All right, okay. I feel confident in talking over this man now. Basically, why I'm here, why I'm talking about this guy is because he is presenting himself as a man of the people, as a working class hero. And the way he's being presented to the audience is in a very working class, patronizing way. This is music for the soul. This is real American music. As the replies and the conversation has shown that this is what like liberal music is missing. This is what the left doesn't understand. They don't know how to talk about the real issues. Let's have a little taste of country. I hope you're hungry for that good eating. Unless you are overweight, then you better not be eating. I think this is funny. I think this is interesting how he keeps talking about this divide in America. And I'm sure that the conversation is conducted, productive, and is designed to bring us together and not divide us further, creating these lines between the real working class and the fake working class. There seems to be a thought, a conversation that if you're not in a coal mine, if you're not grinding your bones to f***ing dust for the luxury of being able to sleep under a roof and put food in your mouth, if you are not killing yourself for a living, then are you actually working? Their answer seems to be no. If you fall on hard times, if you fall behind, if you need help or assistance, you're not a real American, you're not a real worker, because you're not doing the overtime hours, you're not doing the soul-crushing work. You're living in luxury over here, buying fudge rounds. All these fucking fat. What's the term that we all know? The idiom in our American language? Is it fat cat? I think the term fat cat was designed to describe someone that just sits at home and sips up welfare. And they just kind of sit there and watch the stocks go up or the stocks go down. And they go, oh no, we got to fire people. Got to get people out.
Dan, dismantle the titty corner and set up a poker table.
Damn, we need you now. The American workforce is lazy or something. I personally believe that the connections we make with each other, the people that we connect to in these workplaces are the only reasons that we get through it, are the only reasons that we think favorably about these places, because we have other people in this struggle with us. And for some reason, there is a tendency in people to think that their struggle is their own and they must find it within themselves to pull themselves out of that struggle. So when I hear a working class anthem, an anthem for the good old Virginia coal miners, which good honest work, I will not put that down. But I also do understand the mundanity of retail. I understand the stress of having to adhere to standards that are out of your control, to beg for time off from a company that only sees you as a number on a spreadsheet. I understand the struggle that every single person faces when just trying to provide for their family in this country. When we start to point the finger at each other and not at the powers that be, when it feels like someone is being manufactured to tell us to point the fingers at one another, then I feel like I must step in and be like, hey guys, this divide that you're trying to create between people who need help or a handout or just like the sheer amount of human misery that we force people to live in every day, only through the progress of working together, forming actual communities instead of insulating ourselves within our own pre-built, pre-established communities. It's only once we find a true sense of community amongst all people, amongst all nature and the world around us, it's only then can we see each other and empathize with each other as human beings. And I will always push for music, for art, for creation that promotes and speaks towards that goal, regardless if this is genuine or if this is a plant, if he's fake, if he's grifting, if he's being propped up by some dark money conservative group. It does not matter to me because the overlining message is trash. And you can say, well, he's finally giving voice to those who have never had a voice in the music scene. And I say, where the fuck have you been? So for the rest of this video, I'm going to do my top 5 working class anthems from punk bands that I love and enjoy, songs that genuinely touch on the community spirit and the struggle that we all face. First band I would like to bring attention to is Mischief Brew, folksy punk band from Philadelphia. Their music ranges from Bob Dylan-esque acoustic tracks to dirtier, more taxpayers-like music with a focus on the human experience. Thanks Bastards really illustrates what I'm trying to say with a callback to previous protest movements, a callback to those who sacrifice their time, their life, their work to bring us what we have brought. Not think about the fight that had to happen in the early 20th century to get us a 3-day weekend, to get us 40 hours work weeks. I think that the exploitation of labor has been the second greatest crime behind slavery, which, like, if we're being honest, slavery is quite literally the most pinpointed exploitation of labor that can be exuded by any other human population. So this country has been built and created off the backs of laborers. I think Things Bastards covers all that and is probably one of my favorite Mischief Brew cuts. Let's go.
Your monster is alive now. She's taken to the streets, crashing through your opera house.
Much like how comedy is dependent on who you're making fun of, who is the subject of your critique, I feel similarly as that with punk music, in that your criticism, your critique, who you describe as your oppressive force is very informing as to your actual beliefs and how true the punk ethics and the punk tenements you actually hold as a band. You can't get much more stripped down, low-key. Ghost Mice is literally Chris and Hannah. One has an acoustic guitar, the other has a violin, and they sing just like the most human folk songs you ever heard. They bring back a lot of old-timey folk songs and work that into their music. Europe is a very special album to me where it describes their journey, their backpack through Europe as Americans, how they got from country to country, the connections they made along the way, and the people they met there.
They say that misery is the greatest inspiration. Say that being happy just makes you dumb.
I like I'll Be Happy a whole lot because I think it illustrates the positivity that can come from folk music, the positivity that can come from just the beauty of being in love with someone, but also the message that you do get from media, the message you do get from these pop artists is misery and sadness. Feels like a lot of times outrage is what sells. Outrage is what draws attention more than positivity, hope, and beauty in the world. It perfectly touches on the beauty in human moments and how we can create connections within each other and to the land around us. Like how Europe illustrates them connecting to all these different pieces of Europe, I'll Be Happy and their other songs connect them with their interpersonal struggles. And I already see my next band right here, Defiance, Ohio. We're talking folk working class songs about cities against the government. There's a lot of righteous anger in their music, but there's also a lot of beauty and compassion in their music. The one I want to talk about is O Susquehanna. O Susquehanna talks about a small city, a small town where they used to laugh and play, but now it's all paved over, how we don't even connect to our hometown going back to it because it's been so bastardized and transformed, gentrified into this asphalt monster that is the modern community centers of shopping and commerce. There's a moment in this song where they talk about a graveyard that's been concrete over, turned into a parking lot, turned into developments. And the central question is, what do they do with the bodies? Even our final resting place is not safe. It's not sacred. Oh, Susquehanna is a very pinpointed song that touches on the beauty of a place that you're connected to while also feeling that disconnect from it, and how forces outside of your control can come in and take away the beauty and the passion. And I think that's part of everything we're talking about, more or less. I just love when my band starts singing about 15-minute walkable cities. It just makes me feel gooey inside. Defiance, Ohio is where I get a lot of my righteous feelings about creating communities, living in A-frames out in the woods and hunting, whatever. And it's like, whether or not that communist anarchist pipe dream is realistic, it doesn't matter. The fact is that the hope, that dream for something better can tie us together and can point us in the right direction. Music is cool like that. I mean, if I talked about Ghost Mice, if I talked about Defiance, Ohio, then why the fuck wouldn't I not bring up AJJ? AJJ is probably the most successful and most well-known of our folk punk, anarchy punk, making solid music for over a decade with an acoustic-y, folky spirit to it that I feel like they have never lost or left. It'd be really sick if they had people who could eat other people are the luckiest people on earth. For me, it's between the Survival song or People.
I gave a beer to a bum that was drinking, and I gave some sauce to my bestest friend for cooking.
They're so punk that they literally just play Woody Guthrie in the middle of the song, and they admit it. Working class hero Woody Guthrie. Survival song was actually a good one to pick. I like it. The song is about the little things you do every day to progress yourself. I give water to people because I would hope they would give water to me when I needed it. I give a beer to a bum that was drinking. I gave sauce to my best friend for cooking. Do things for those around me so I can ensure that I survive. Survival isn't a singular task. It involves everyone, whether you know it or not. I know my generation was told to go to school, get a career, buy a house, marry a lady, have the babies, and you'll be happy. You're doing it. You got the things. You'll retire. You'll be golden. You'll have the property. You'll be... Because survival is so tied into this monetary gain that the better you're doing, the more you're upgrading. We're constantly upgrading. When honestly, I think we should be more proud of the connections we have to one another. It doesn't matter how nice a thing is if the meaning, if the connection to it is empty. By bringing it to that level, that human level, it doesn't matter if you make country. It doesn't matter if you make hip hop or rock and roll. If you speak truth towards those that oppress us, if you speak truth towards the sad, lonely, isolated emotional state that we may be feeling, then you genuinely have a punk spirit about you. I think about these bands that helped me at a very young age consider how I was affecting those around me and how I wanted those around me to affect me. And none of this would even be doable, would even be here if it wasn't for Mr. Tom Waits. And Tom Waits for no man, probably the roughest voice in music, but he also has the American fucking soul. You know what Jeff's always saying.
I want the song of the American dorm room.
If you want music that just touches and hits in this old soul that we live in the shadow of, I think Tom Waits does it unequivocally with such class and ease that it's just so natural to the artist and musician that he is. I can't tell if he's making fun of 9 Inch Nails or not, and that kind of hurts, but it's also a sick song that he's overperforming. There is a bit of comedy in that. He does comment on the state of music, and I appreciate that.
The poor, the lame, the blind, who were the ones that we kept away? God so great.
I would love to see Oliver Anthony go toe-to-toe with Tom Waits any day. How do you put down a man that so perfectly captures the American spirit, the sound of that old-timey jubilee, while having the soul and heart of a fucking coal stack? Weird dude. Love the shit out of him. Anyway, that was a conversation about the working class music of what I like, what I care about, what I look at, and I say, right on, my brothers. Sorry, on my other screen, I just have Tom Waits just creeping towards an emu, and I love it. I'm happy. I'm a happy girl. So with that, I say...
Look out, world! 2 cougars on the prowl.
Thank you for watching. My name's Grace. If you have any suggestions for the working class unity music, please tell me below, and I'll make sure to read every single comment. Grace, I will read no matter what you say. I will read it. So please tell me your thoughts below.
I want the song of the American dorm room.
And I hope you find it, Jeff. But for me, I am done here. Thank you for watching. I will catch you on the flip side. Toodaloo, my guys, my people, my emos out there. What's up, my emos?
God so great. Business.
I'll be back.
Ew, fuck. Okay, I'm done. Bye-bye.